There you have it. Fourth offensive lineman out of the portal commits to the Buffs. But we're here for other reasons too. We'll talk about the commitment, but a bombshell has just struck college football. I usually don't get into this, but this time it feels a little bit different given how the source was dropped. Coach Prime to the Raiders seems to have some smoke. We'll talk about it. I don't know. You know I'm going to ask for your thoughts and opinions, so it's brought to you by BetUS. Let's roll and let's talk about it. I already hear it. Why are we talking about this? Why are we entertaining this idea of Coach Prime to the Raiders? I'm going to give you my thoughts and opinions about it very shortly, okay? So don't yell at me. Just reporting the news. Just talking about it. Hey, I heard it. Stop. This isn't me. This isn't me. I don't usually bite the bullet. This one feels different, and I'll tell you why. But first order, great news. Today, a commit happens, which means me to believe business as usual, right? SEC Ole Miss offensive lineman, fourth one in the class, 6'4", 345 pounds, commits to the Buffs. We talked about him setting up a visit, and here it is. Mana Tamani, I believe, commits, fifth-year senior, I believe, ton of experience under his belt, played at Ole Miss last year, didn't play too much, came in during typically when Ole Miss kind of rocking and rolling. I believe played 4 games, 60 snaps, played a lot more in 2023 with 12 games, a total of 75 snaps, but has experience all around the league. Again, I think a guy just coming in more brought in for depth piece more than anything else, which again, with much movement there has been in the transfer portal, very good asset and a very good pickup to the team. It wasn't really a big splash when it happened, but we were aware of the visit that was happening, making this the 17th ad in the portal. Now, there has been a lot of conversations in the chat about the scholarship situation. Again, I know you guys saying 105 scholarships. I've been reading and trying to figure this thing out to get the clarification. From my understanding, it's 85 scholarships still. So I know we've got to get the difference of opinion on this, but that is my thought process, that it's still 85. So I think puts the Buffs at 74 or 75. So still some room to go. Either way, if it's 85 or 105, there's still some room to grow. Again, I see the people, you guys are commenting. We're always very engaged. You guys are always on top of it with your thoughts and opinions, which I do appreciate. But from what I can gather, it's 85 heading into the football season. Again, they can go over that number until spring ball, but that's where it's going to be. Obviously, yesterday with the loss of Texas and the day before that in Penn State, could we see some more movement in the portal? Very possible. Again, they now have 5 days from those games to get busy in the transfer portal. All right. Now, before we get into the Raiders talk, which obviously it's crazy because that one's going to be what really kind of takes of this show, and I really want everyone's thoughts and opinions about it. Of course, this show is brought to you by BetUS, and Ohio State covered that -6, which I felt like they would. Anyways, close for a little bit, closer than I think a lot of us anticipated. From what I'm looking at now, the opening right now for the line against Ohio State and Notre Dame is -10. I think Notre Dame provides a better opportunity against Ohio State than Texas did. So I like Notre Dame to cover here, maybe possibly with an upset. I don't know. Give me your thoughts. Of course, check out BetUS.com. Use the code YouTube150 to get back 150% on your first deposit, then 125 on your next two, up to $2,000. We've been rocking with them all season long, so huge shout out to BetUS. I know some of you guys have dabbled into that, especially with Colorado. We were paying some bills with our picks on that. So take a look at it now. Let's get into the drama. Let's get into why we're all here. What's got us all fired up today? This news that has just shook everything to a core. The first one to drop it was a Las Vegas account, like a journal, right? Las Vegas paper. Let me see who it was. I can't remember who it was. It was here it is. Las Vegas Review Journal. Here's where it's different. We've got Paul Feinbaum. We've got Stephen A. Smith, the Fox guys saying, hey, I think Coach Prime should go coach Texas A&M. Hey, I think Coach Prime should go over here. Hey, I think Coach Prime would be a perfect fit. Hey, and every time those would come out, I wouldn't even talk about it because it was just like, a slow news cycle. And they're like, hey, this rallies the troop. This gets people fired up when Coach Prime is talked about leaving, right? This has always been kind of just a bottom line conversation. And I was like, it's getting old. It's getting exhausting. It's dumb. There's no need to talk about it because there isn't any smoke outside of your personal opinion of why you think he should go. And I don't feel like that was reasonably for us to talk about because it's just nonsense. The reason why I feel this has some smoke because there is multiple USA Today, Yahoo Sports, everybody is in full swing that Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, has interest. According to the article, a source close to him has said that he is showing interest. And again, the only way that this always could happen is, I would say, the perfect case scenario where he gets to go coach his son Shador. That's the only way this would ever happen, right? Well, you don't know where he's going to go. You don't know what teams are going to do, what coaches are going to do. All these things is never impossible movement. Now, let's unfold all of this. The Raiders have the 6th pick in the draft right now. They could easily trade up, given the Titans have number 1. Titans seem to be very heavily leaning towards Cam Ward. Okay, that has been very announced very loud. Browns have a number 2. Deshaun Watson doesn't look like he's going to play. They're going to be looking for a quarterback. So I see a trade in the future happening if this thing unfolds. The other part of it, Tom Brady, obviously big-time owner. Antonio Pierce, who was the coach, was let go. And at one point, Coach Prime was vocal about saying, like, hey, I would love for you guys to take my son. Well, now, would love for them to play for the Raiders. There is no coach. There's no situation. Tom Brady very close with the Sanders family. There was reports that he reached out to Belichick, right? I don't know. It feels very weird. With this. I know Tom Brady's a winner, wants to win, and will do anything and everything to make whatever he thinks needs to happen. But I keep going back to, again, Coach Prime saying, hey, I don't want to go anywhere. This is my home. We've heard him say that. The only thing that makes me concerned is the fact is, again, this article comes out saying that he is showing interest. We need a tweet, Coach Prime. We need something here to either dismay this conversation. Again, it's going to hit the Twitter sphere here world in a minute, and everybody's going to be talking about it because, again, there seems to be a little bit of legitimate smoke. I would be in awe if it were to happen. Just given how he's kind of carried himself on what he's put in. Because if, again, everything that has unfolded thus far with Antonio Pierce being fired, the Raiders situation, all these things, all those things could have always happened leading up to this. And the way that Coach Prime says, like, I have zero desire. He's said multiple times, like, I don't want to go to the NFL. I don't think that's a good fit for me. All these things have always been part of his conversation. Your son was always going to the NFL. Like, you knew all these things. I don't know what would have changed. Again, sometimes, yes, all those things are true, but there's that small possibility. If the perfect scenario unfolds, maybe I would go. And maybe that perfect scenario is I'm going to get to go coach my son. I like LA. I like Vegas. It's close to my home here in Colorado. It wouldn't be that far of a transition. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's where the weird scenario is. You got a great tight end in Brock Bowers. There's a little bit of future there. You've got Tom Brady, who's now a part owner that's really involved in winning. I've got a good relationship with him. He's been helping my son be developed. Like, it's like the perfect scenario of, like, yeah, I could see it happening. I would still be in awe with it. I really would. I don't know. I want your thoughts, your feelings on it. Do you think he goes? Is there a thing? Give me both options. What's a point that I'm not bringing up of why he wouldn't leave? What's a great point of why he would leave? Again, his word saying that he has no plan of leaving has always been a big thing. Again, that doesn't mean that he's going to go against his word because things have changed. The outline of this has changed. I would think they'd have to make some moves, and that's the other part of it is like, hey, I want to coach my son. That isn't a guarantee. Now, if we see the Raiders make a trade for number 2, right, the second draft pick, then I would go, okay, that's a first domino to fall because there's teams in front of them right now that need a quarterback, right? I had the draft picked up here before this, and again with the draft order, Titans being number 1, they feel pretty confident with Cam Ward. Cleveland and Giants both definitely need a quarterback. New England, Drake May seems to be the future, but new coach comes in. Maybe he feels he's not the future. Jaguars are good at quarterback. That's where Travis Hunter seems like he's going to be a good landing spot. So then you have the Raiders. So the Raiders have to make some moves, I would think, because the Giants and Browns are right there. Giants or Browns are right there. So if the first thing that would have to happen, I would say for Prime is like, look, I need to guarantee because I'm not going to come coach if my son's not going to be there. I think that's the catalyst that really has to make this thing move. And again, the only reason why we're talking about this is because there is multiple reports that he is saying he has interest. He's reached out. He's made the call. Someone close to him. Crazy to me. And there's a clip now I'm seeing. It says Coach Prime has the chance of possibility. The only way I would coach only way I would consider is to coach my sons. He could definitely get Shiloh there at Raiders later on in the draft. It could be happening. Oh man, this would be crazy. This would be crazy. And again, I don't think he felt, maybe didn't want to go to New York. Again, there's an open. It's the cards are aligning to be that. Man, I need thoughts. We need opinions. We got to talk about it. This thing is going to be unfolded over the next couple of days, taking over a lot of the smoke of this transfer portal. Crazy to see this thing unfold as it is. We'll be talking all about it. Let us know how you're feeling. The show's brought to you by BetUS. Smash the like button, subscribe. I'll see you on the next one. This is huge.